The Industrial Revolution was probably a mistake. So now, without further ado, can you beat Fallout New Vegas as Theodore John Kaczynski, aka the Unabomber? Now, what does beating Fallout New Vegas as Ted Kaczynski actually mean? Well, first of all, explosives only. I feel like that's pretty obvious. We're also not going to be using VATS because VATS is, advanced technology. I feel like Ted Kaczynski would be against that. And then we're also not going to be using modern medicine. We're going anti-vax this one, so no stim packs, no chems, nothing like that. I spent maybe 40 seconds trying to make my guy look like Ted Kaczynski. The character creator was never one of my strengths, and it continues to be that way. For stats, it's a pretty basic explosive build, high perception. I also did give him 10 intelligence because, Ted Kaczynski, he went to Stanford, I'm pretty sure. So he must have been a pretty smart guy. And also 2 charisma because I can imagine the MK Ultra shit probably didn't do his people skills any good. Tag skills were pretty obvious. Explosives for using bombs, repair for making bombs, and science for also making bombs. I put a little more thought into the traits, built to destroy, because grenades don't really have durability. That seemed like it made sense. Then I picked up loose cannon, which lets you throw grenades 30% faster, but gives you 25% less range. Considering how many times I killed myself in this run, I don't think this was the best decision. Anyway, first order of business. Gotta blow up this sorry sack of shit because I am an evil psychopath. Listen, this guy, he could have been like a college professor or something, so I gotta be lore accurate. I then spent a couple of minutes using my dynamite to kill powder gangers in order to get their dynamite. Yeah, my character has 10 intelligence, but it seems like I don't. I then started wearing this red shirt that I found. It's Ted Kaczynski probably wore a red shirt at one point in his life, so this is again lore accurate. I went down to Prim with the purpose of blowing up some convicts. That's always a good source of XP. And really get some reps in with the dynamite. I don't use dynamite very often in this game. Inside the Bison Steve, it honestly went great. Dynamite's a pretty solid weapon in this game. So like for now, it's pretty easy. You just be chucking them. Got set on fire here. That really didn't do very much. I feel like the fire should have set off the dynamite in my hand, but it didn't do that.
Hey there.
I went back to Good Springs to bear witness to Easy Pete having a schizophrenic episode. That was certainly interesting. I was then accosted by rad scorpions on my way to the crack shack outside of Good Springs. I was hoping if I slept for long enough, the scorpions would leave me alone. But no, they were just camping my abode, so I had to employ, a nice casual jog to get away from them. Yeah, that's always nice. Chop Chin tried to dissuade me from going up north because he said there were death claws there, but I knew my aura was strong enough to repel them. Apparently I was mistaken about my aura because I fucking died. Tried to slip through the Black Mountain shortcut, but the super mutants there weren't having any of my bullshit, and they just shot me to death. If I'm gonna beat this game as Ted Kaczynski, it's high time I started thinking like Ted Kaczynski. So I went back to Good Springs and made an IED. I tried to run it back with the Deathclaw to limited results. God, I'm never doing one of these fucking Tinder dates again, man. This is bullshit. On a real note, though, look at this clip. Alright, I throw the dynamite, and he fucking shoots it out of the air. Alright, he shoots it out of the air on some, Red Dead Redemption Deadeye shit. What the hell? Anyway, I make it through the shortcut, not before this prick hits me with a hand grenade and runs away. I picked a fight with the robots outside of the Repcon building for their XP. I tried kiting them around like in COD Zombies, and it actually worked pretty well. I took the fight to the robots inside the building, but I didn't realize they would summon like a bunch of sentry bots, so I died pretty quick. I would be spinning it back eventually, but for now I just went to New Vegas. It was a pretty smooth journey. Nothing really happened. Took a couple of minutes.
Over here!
Better not try that again. Howdy.
Yeah, Dixon was curled up having a Shinji level breakdown, and I was getting chased around by fent heads. This was certainly a situation I had gotten into. I managed to escape the goons and made my way into the good part of Freeside. I needed money to get into Vegas proper, so I made some investments. Alright, she left me on red, so I'm putting them all on red. Here we go. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I mean, like, realistically, you can't stop there, so... Alright, she didn't text back, I'm putting it all in black. Here we fucking go. Let's see this, I got 100% certain. There's no way. It'll go. FUCK! I accepted my defeat with grace and moved on to bigger and better things. Alright, listen, you know we like to have fun here. You know, there was Deathclaw hentai on the screen a couple of minutes ago, but I do understand modern sensibilities, so if you're sensitive to this kind of thing, this is like a trigger warning real quick. You might want to skip to this time code. Alright. To get some money to get into New Vegas, I got a job at the Silver Rush. Yeah, it was going pretty well, all things considered. You know, I learned Fallout New Vegas NPCs have a fully rendered gag reflex. I think that's pretty cool. I let this like-minded gentleman into the Silver Rush. You know, he seemed like a pretty trustworthy guy.
Hey, looking for something to replace my old revolver. Mind if I head in?
It's almost like I never said anything at all.
As Simon stared into the rubble of what was most likely the only family he's ever known, I made sure to get every atom of loot out of the Silver Rush. Yeah, there's about 10,000 caps worth of combat armor here alone, so this is probably the best way to make money early game. I left him with a little parting gift too. You know, I just figured that would be the right thing to do. The Silver Rush Crier was out to get me. I'm not really sure why. I made some sick dodges on his little rinky-dink laser pistol. Had to run into one of the casinos to hide. I figured if I just waited in the casino, he would go away, but that wasn't the case. That's not what he did. He actually followed me back into the casino one time and chased me around like a fucking active shooter. So that was fun. That was a fun time. I managed to lose him in the kitchen and escaped back out to Freeside.
That stuff we're not even allowed to...
These guys child predators? I managed to escape the hood and got 2,000 caps from some of that combat armor I got from the Van Graffs. Yeah, fucking John Wick was camping the good part of Freeside, so I had to like hide behind this mailbox. Then I tried hiding behind the King's member to see if like you'd maybe shoot him and then aggro the whole gang. Elvis, do something. Yeah, I ended up just throwing grenades at him and hiding behind cover, which, you know, I probably should have started with that. But yeah, the first time I tried it worked pretty well. I decided to use all of my dynamite to make him blow up more because I really wasn't a fan of this guy. Um, it was kind of entertaining, but it was sort of a waste. The child predators from earlier beat that one gay stripper to death. I thought that was interesting. I've never seen that happen before. Anyway, it was at this moment my recording shit out, and I lost like an hour and a half of footage. So I had to recreate all this using old save files. So if things look weird or inconsistent, that's probably why. Went into the Tops Casino. Wasn't trying to do terrorism just yet. I just wanted to look at Benny to get some easy XP. I wanted to hit level 6 before attacking the Tops properly, so I headed up to Black Mountain to try and get some easy XP from the quest there. Inside the compound, I tactically used this barrel to avoid incoming gunfire to get to Raoul's cell. My plan originally was to just let Raoul do all the work and then keep running back into the little shed to heal by sleeping for an hour. Then this happened.
No! I won't let you have my Raoul!
Hey, you know what, man? A win's a win. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyways, I hit level 6 and took the Mad Bomber perk. Now, what this perk does is it lets you craft a bunch of different explosives, but the only useful one is a micro fusion cell grenade, and you take like 3 energy ammo and you turn it into a grenade. It's really efficient. Anyway, with all these bombs, it was time to blow up the Tops for real. My first attempt went pretty poorly. I had good firepower with all the grenades, but I didn't really have that much health or armor. I just kind of got shot to death fairly quickly. Attempt 2, I realized the grenades count as holdout weapons, and they let me set up on the staircase before I started throwing grenades. Still had the same problem as the first attempt, though. I wasn't doing enough damage to kill them before they killed me, and I died. Eventually, I found an angle where I could throw grenades at Benny and all his goons and have them all hit at the same time. So that way I would really thin the herd before they got too much damage on me. So that worked pretty well. This did make it a little easier, but I still died like way too many times in this section. I died a lot less in the historical reenactment I had to do, but on like the real run, on the first go through, this was hell. Man, like no armor and grenades I can't throw very far. It was not a good combination. I eventually went in that little side hotel room with the bed so I could heal up. That was pretty useful. But this crazy woman with a pool cue ran in and tried to beat me to death, so that made things a little more interesting. I took the platinum chip off of Benny's dead body, or at least I was going to. I must have already picked it up in this timeline. I was a little confused by this. I conversed with Yes Man. I'm siding with Yes Man this run. I know Ted Kaczynski probably wouldn't like robots, but he also doesn't like the government, so I feel like Yes Man is the only real option. My goat sent me off to meet the boomers, and I found this magic door that fucking kills you. Yeah, if anyone knows what's behind this door, please tell me, because I don't know and I'm not looking it up. I killed George for a handful of reasons, then proceeded to go through the boomers' bombardment. I was hiding behind this destroyed wall of a house when I realized my character looks way more like Drake than Ted Kaczynski. Wagwan Delilah, no I'm late 'cause there's bad traffic. I just showed my dog your gram. He says he knows a man that's fapped it. I'm so cheesed. Your madam most nights are geeked. I'm bent low-key. Wagwan Delilah, double date me if you like me. Brought my chronum for your bestie. Sorry, what the fuck is this song? I mean, like, quadruple platinum artist, by the way. Anyway, I blew up Raquel for a grenade machine gun. I'm not entirely sure how Ted Kaczynski would feel about this, because, like, on one hand, it does have a computer on it, but it's also shooting bombs, and bombs are like his favorite thing, so I really don't know. I used it anyway. I used the grenade machine gun to blow up bark scorpions, which I guarantee no one has ever done in this game before. In the Brotherhood bunker, I blew up some paladins, so the Brotherhood of Steel knew I didn't like them. You know, I feel like that was also pretty in character. I pushed a little further into their base, and it went really well. It went so well, in fact, that I left and never came back, and told Yes Man to ignore the Brotherhood. So that just left the great cons. Cazador Kanging was as fun as always. I saw Mother Cazador murder her son in cold blood. I'm not sure what that was about, but it was pretty cool.
She know what she wanted and how to go get it without being caught. Piss that, piss that, piss that, piss that, piss that, piss that, piss on the roast, 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 roast that, roast, roast, piss on the roast, roast that, roast, roast that, roast, roast, roast,
The rest of it was pretty uneventful, except for when I hit this sick-ass clip. I killed some of the bighorners so I could have meat, so I could actually heal in the final battle, and then I had a fruitful conversation with Papa Khan. Yes Man sent me out to the El Dorado substation. I started killing all the troopers there, honestly, because fuck them. This one guy tried to take me out by fusing with the dumpster, turning himself into a half-man, half-dumpster, centaur type of deal. Yeah, it didn't help him very much. I powered up the substation, and then went back to Goodsprings to make what I thought was a pretty reasonable amount of bombs, and stock up on some other supplies before the final battle. With all that out of the way, Yes Man teleported me to the Hoover Dam, and now the real game would begin. Yeah, other than that one thing, the final battle was pretty underwhelming. None of the legionaries, including the Praetorian Guards, could stand up to the wrath of Uncle Ted. Or I guess BBL Teddy in my case. Caesar's top guy did kill me a bunch of times, but it's because I kept trying to hit a clip. Now you may debate in the comments amongst yourselves whether or not you think the clip was in fact sick. Anyway, with all that taken care of, all that was left was Oliver and his goons, and I mean, those guys are a joke in every playthrough. I just ran behind cover and started chucking nades in their general direction, and they all died in a couple of seconds. It was pretty disappointing. And with that, I spoke to Yes Man, beating the game, proving that you can in fact beat Fallout New Vegas as Ted Kaczynski, aka the Unabomber. Hanging with my cousin reading dirty magazines. We saw fellas kissing, didn't know what that shit means. Then we started recreating pictures that we seen. That's when I
Liked and subscribed.